I got another nice little chill video for y'all. I don't know why, bro. I was thinking about this shit. But back when I was young, bro, when I want to say 6 to about 10, bro. Or maybe even older, maybe to 13. I think maybe I was like 13 still carrying that shit. I used to carry around like a black box TV. I'm almost 30 years old. So when I was a kid, we had them damn box TVs, bro. It was literally just like a black box TV. And I had like a small one, but that bitch still was heavy. I still had to use all my damn young boy strength to lift that shit up. But I used to carry that shit around. And I used to carry around a GameCube, bro. And I used to carry around like all the Sonic games. And I used to carry around Pac-Man games. Cause like my favorite Pac-Man game, bro, was this game called Pac-Man World 2. That game was so damn fun, bro. And I'm so mad they never made like a number 4 of that shit. Cause number 3 was kind of, I don't want to say it was ass, but it was like the style of it. I don't like how they changed the style of it. Like, I remember getting Pac-Man World 3 and being so freaking hyped. I was like, holy shit, this shit about to be fire. I remember turning that shit on, and like the powers and stuff they gave Pac-Man was like confusing to me. They gave him like weird ass powers. And then it's like Pac-Man is like punching people. And then he has like this old nigga voice. And don't get me wrong, I think at that time Pac-Man was like 40 years old. So it's like it makes sense. But I kind of like the one from Pac-Man World 2, where it was like, he looked like he was like 20. Like, he looks young in Pac-Man World 2. In Pac-Man World 3, he sounds and even kind of looks like an actual 40-year-old. But I get, like I said, it's like, it's age accurate. But I just really like Pac-Man World 2 more, because Pac-Man World 2 has so much story and lore to it. It was like, Pac-Man World 2 had an adventure field, which was Pac-Land, or Pac City, whatever it was called. I think it was called Pac Village, I think. I'm just guessing. But it was Pac Village, and in Pac Village there was like an arcade where if you got enough of the tokens, you could play all the old school Pac-Man games. If I remember, it was like Pac-Man Mania, Miss Pac-Man, Pac Attack, and Pac-Man. I think that was all the games. And then there was also another arcade machine where you could play all the little maze games that you unlock in the levels. That mess was so freaking cool to me as a kid. And then it was like, in this game, Pac-Man had like a spin dash like Sonic does. And then it was like, it had like a world map. And it was like, it starts out with you being like in like these little, it's like a little pond kind of forest like thing, where it's like 3 or 4 of the levels are like in a pond. And then 3 or 4 of the levels are in like this like wooden valley where it's like there's saws everywhere. And there's like these tall ass big trees. And the grass valley places had like bears and shit too. But when you got to like the saw places, it was like you mostly seen ghosts and shit. But I freaking love that shit. And then you get to like the ice levels. Then you get to the volcano levels, and that's where everybody struggles when they play the game. And then after you beat those levels, there's like underwater levels. And then after you beat those, there's like the ghost town levels. But yeah, I remember, man, I was like obsessed with that game as a kid, bro. I remember for the longest time, I couldn't get past the volcano levels, bro. I was like stuck on, I think it was the first volcano level that I was stuck on for hella long. I think I was stuck on that shit for like a year. Like as a kid, it's like everything was hella harder, bro. And that game was hella hard. It was like, I really like the level before that level though. Because there's like one before it where you're like going into a cave and the cave is taking you to the volcano level. That shit was heat to me. But yeah, I really like that one level before you get into the volcano. It's like the levels where you're going from the ice into the volcano. I think that was the first level. And then the next level was like you're literally inside the volcano. And that was like the hardest level. And then after that, there's a level where you're still in the volcano, but you're like going out on the other side basically. And then after that, you verse the red ghost. And he has like the, you fight him basically like where the lava is and shit. And then after that, you go into the water world. And then you have like, the first water level is Pac-Man swimming. And then the second one is like a submarine, if I remember correctly. And then, I don't know if was there a third one? I think the water ones, there was only 2, I think. Because Because the submarine one was basically like the boss level. Well, no. There was a third one. The third one is also a submarine stage. So the first one, Pac-Man's swimming. The second one, Pac-Man is in the submarine. The third one, Pac-Man is still in the submarine. And you're in the submarine fighting like ghosts. And the ghosts are in like this giant submarine. They have like this supersized submarine. And if I remember correctly, the submarine has all the ghosts in, like all 4 of the ghosts. I think it's Pinky, Blinky. Damn, I can't remember all the names. I think Sam was the name of the orange one. And Pinky was the pink girly one. And then I think Blinky was the red one. Shit, I can't remember all. I know there's a blue one, purple one, red one, orange one. And yeah, they're like the final boss against them. That's like the final stage of you fighting all 4 of the ghosts. And then after that, you're on the actual ghost island. And then it's like, I really love when you get to the ghost island levels. Those are like the funnest ones because they're so mysterious and kind of eerie. And if I remember correctly, the first one, Pac-Man is using skates because if he touches the ghost water, he dies. So he's like skating and shit. And then the second one is basically like, I think that one is also a skating level, but everything is like falling apart. And it's like every time you touch something, it literally falls into the water. So you have to skate really fast. And then the third one is like this maze. And basically you have to beat the maze to get to like the ghost tree. And after you get to the ghost tree, the end of the game is literally like the ghost tree is like dies out. You beat it. And then Spooky, who's like the king of all ghosts, goes to Pac Village. And you have to fight him. And Pac-Man gets like this like golden super form. And you basically fight him. And he can summon all of the creatures that you fought during the journey. Like he can summon like goats and like bears and all types of stuff. And you got to kick him. And bro, that game was so fun to me. I don't know. Everybody had a beef with that game though and thought it was trash. I'm like, bro, that was the funnest kid game I ever played. What the fuck? That shit was hella fun. I don't give a fuck. That was like the funnest, chillest, not too hard but not too easy game. And there's so much to explore in that game. And I didn't even explain everything because like there's like the ice levels, right? Because after you beat, every level has like, every area has like 2 levels, and then the third level is like a boss level, right? So the snow one is like, if I remember correctly, the first snow level, you're like running down the mountain, right? And there's a giant avalanche chasing against you. And then the second one, you're like skating, if I remember correctly. And then the fourth one is the boss, is the ice boss, which is like the pink ghost, Pinky, or whatever. Yeah. But this game, I don't know, this game had so much like heart put into it. It felt so soulful. It felt like games back then were like really simple, but you can tell they were like thought out and planned. And you can tell that the developers at Namco obviously really freaking like this game. Because the game is put together with so much heart. You know what I'm saying? That's why I loved it so much. It was such a fun game to play as a kid. And like I said, as kids and even as adults, we like when games are like colorful. That game was really freaking colorful and just fun to look at, you know. It's funny too because I remember I had this crazy ass white friend with anger issues, but he had a lot of the same video games as me. It was so weird. It was like, we literally had some of the same games, bro. It was like he had what is it called? He had Sonic Adventure DX. I had Sonic Adventure DX. He had Pac-Man World 2. I had Pac-Man World 2. And then he had a lot of the games that like all the cool games. Like he had like Sly Cooper, Spider-Man. What was that other one? Zelda, Wind Waker. Like he had like a lot of games, bro. Sly Cooper. I think he had all 3 Sly Coopers. I think he had Sly Cooper 1, 2, and 3. He was a spoiled ass kid, bro. He had hella shit. I ain't even gonna lie. That nigga had like all the fun games. But then he eventually gave me like Like, if I remember correctly, he gave me like 2 of them. Because he didn't really play them type shit. And my mom's boyfriend stole one of them. And I remember telling him, and he was just like, I don't care. I'm just like, for sure. I just wanted to keep it real with him. Like, that nigga stole it. And I'm a little ass kid. So I can't give it back to you because that nigga dead ass just stole that shit from me. You know, I can't fight a 30-year-old nigga, so I mean, it is what it is. But what's that weird ass sound I'm hearing? I'm assuming that's a dog or something. I don't know, at nighttime you be hearing some weird ass sounds, my nigga. It be like ducks make weird ass sounds, dogs. You can't decipher if it's like dogs or ducks, or like you really can't decipher that shit. You just be hearing scary ass sounds. You be rah, rah. You be like, what the fuck is that shit? Oh God. The only reason why I ain't scared of that shit is I just be walking this way all the time. I literally be walking by the creatures. Like I said in another video, there was like a whole group of possums. I'm talking about, it was like 10, 15 of them. The exact spot I'm at right now, them niggas was running right next to me, bro. I was like, okay, for sure. It was literally like at least 10 of them. And they all just disappeared into the night. And I was just like, for sure. I said raccoons in the other video, but they were possums. Nasty ass things. Hey, I ain't got nothing against them though. They didn't fight me. They didn't try to kill me. So, hey, nigga, if nature leave me alone, I don't bother nature. And like I said, a lot of that shit is just in your imagination, usually. Like, real talk. Shoot. Like Shrek said, I'm more scared than anything out here. Yeah. Yeah, man. There were so many good ass games back in the day though. Like, I remember the Sly Cooper game we played. I think it was Sly Cooper 3. I remember he was like hella mad. He was like throwing his controller. He was hella mad because he was fighting like one of the villains and he couldn't beat him. And I remember I played against the villain and literally beat it in the first try. And he was like so happy and hyped, bro. Because I used to just watch him play video games. I didn't even ever play them. Because I think he only had one controller. But then it was just that one day I literally fought the little villain in the Sly Cooper game and literally beat it first try, and he was so hyped. That shit was hella funny. I don't even remember what type of villain it was. Looked like a Kung Fu Panda ass villain before Kung Fu Panda was Kung Fu Panda. Well, I remember we played that shit. Sly Cooper is so underrated. Like, that series is low-key fire. Sly Cooper, Crash Bandicoot. He also had Ratchet and Clank. And then he had, what was the other one? There's another one. There's Ratchet and Clank, and then there's something and something. It's like a guy, and it's like he has like a little ferret. What's that shit called? Tack or something? I can't remember what that shit is called. But Ratchet and Clank was low-key fire too, bro. That shit was he had all the games as a kid, bro. You know, like he had a PlayStation 2. I've literally had three PlayStation 2s because my first one, my mom's boyfriend stole. Then her boyfriend's mom bought me another one, and then he stole that one too. I was like, what the fuck, bro? And then I recently bought another one like 3 years ago. So now I have a PlayStation 2. It feels good to have one of those again. And then the one I have, it has Marvel vs. Capcom on it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And then I have, what's that other game? Spider-Man 1 for the PlayStation. But I had to buy like the PlayStation 1 memory card. I didn't know you needed an old school memory card to save that shit. I was like, that's so extra. Like, whatever, bro. So I had to wait. But I'm just happy to have one again. It's like, hey, I got a PlayStation 2. That's what's up. And that shit was cheap too, because it's like refurbished. But it's like the old school one, so it doesn't have, like, you know how there's like the silver disc games? You can't play the silver disc games, which kind of sucks, because it's an old school one. You know, if I remember correctly, only the like small PlayStation 2s play the silver discs, if I remember correctly. I remember I also had a PlayStation 1, but mine was like slimmer. Mine was a what they call a PlayStation 2000. And it was like other niggas had the OG PlayStation. I always thought mine was fake, but I looked that shit up. Mine was just the newest version of a PlayStation 1. It's literally called a PlayStation 2000. And when I saw that shit, I was like, that's so random. I don't even know what happened to that shit. Because for the longest time, I thought my PlayStation was like the normal PlayStation. And then I remember going to my homie's house and he had like a